How's it going, everyone? It's Gadgets Boy. Welcome to another video, and in this one we have the brand new VIVO X51 5G. It's landing in Europe and they're looking to compete with the likes of the Pixel 5, which is also rocking the same processor chip in there, and many other mid-range devices that we have on the market right now. And this is a great competition, and it has a little trick under his sleeve as well. So I'm looking to try this out and see what this is all about. So without further chat, let's get into it. Let's unbox it. So what you get inside the box, I'll talk you through the specifications and the most important part of it, which is the camera as well. Let's check it out. So this is the new VIVO X51 5G, and on the box it says "Hello Europe," and that's because they're coming to this part of the world and they're not new to the game at all. They're actually making waves in other parts of the country, parts of the world rather, and it's doing really well as well. I actually really like the design of this phone, but before we get into that, inside the box you do get your charging brick, which is also a fast charge as well. You got your USB to USB-C cable for charging it up and transferring data. You have a pair of in-ear headphones with some ear tips as well, so you can change it to fit your ear canal. And then you've also got your silicone case and some quick start guide and a SIM ejector tool as well, attached to the quick start guide and all that stuff, which is pretty neat. And then we move on to the device itself. It looks pretty amazing for a smartphone that will cost you £749 here in the UK. It looks amazing. And this just weighs around 181.5 grams. So it's pretty, it's not too light in hand in comparison to the like of the Pixel 5, for example. This has got a bit of a weight, a bit of a heft to it. This color here is the Alpha Grey version, and it runs on FunTouch OS 10, which is based on Android 10 as well. I'll show you some bits on there where they've put their own little spin on their software, which looks amazing. I quite like it. In terms of processor chip in here, like I said already, this is running on Qualcomm Snapdragon 765G, which is a 7nm process chip as well. So again, it should be good on battery, which should be okay. It's got Adreno 620 for graphics, 8GB of RAM, and which is LPDDR4, and you have 256GB of UFS 2.0 internal storage. This is really nice design. I really like it. It's very slim as well. It's got curved, a 3D curved Ultra O screen, which looks amazing as well. This is actually E3 Samsung AMOLED HDR10 Plus display. And it's also got 90Hz display with 180Hz touch response sampling rates as well. So in terms of gaming, this is up there as well. Display looks good. It looks fantastic. And I actually like this live wallpaper that they've got going on here. It looks amazing as well. In terms of battery, you have a 4,315 milliamp hour battery in there. Again, this should last you a whole day, and you've got that 33 watts flash charge, which I showed you guys earlier from inside of the box. The front-facing camera is 32 megapixel AI selfie camera, so you should be able to get really good quality out of it, which I tried out as well. In fact, the intro video was recorded using the front-facing camera on this smartphone. I hope you guys noticed that as well. On the back, you have an AI quad camera, so you have a 48 megapixel f1.6 aperture main camera. But what's good about this is not only does it have PDAF, it also has laser it also has LDAF, so laser, and you also have optical image stabilization, but it doesn't stop there. This has also got a gimbal as well, gimbal system that allows you to get that stabilization both when shooting stills and videos. Then you have a 13 megapixel f2.46 aperture, 50mm portrait lens, so this will give you 2x optical zoom as well. Then you have an 8 megapixel super wide angle, so ultra wide angle lens at f2.2. And this will give you about 120 degrees of field of view. But once it's done the correction, it might be a bit less. You have another 8 megapixel f3.4 optical zoom lens. So this will give you up to 5x optical zoom and 6x hyper zoom. I wouldn't even touch the 60x, to be honest, but it's got OIS and autofocus, and it looks amazing when taking photos. This phone reminds me of Oppo smartphone in some ways. That gimbal camera system looks amazing. Again, I've been trying to use it in the house and stuff like that. It looks amazing. And the macro lens looks fantastic as well. When you get close to subjects, you still get really good quality. So this is not 2 megapixel macro lens like you would get on some smartphones out there, but with an 8 megapixel macro lens, it just means you still get really good quality, and it's a lot more fun to use in that way. In camera settings, you can see that you have a few things that you can set up as well. For example, you can change your photo size. If you scroll down on there, you've got stabilization, which you can turn on. It's got this stabilization interface that allows you to make sure that you always stabilize while you're shooting. So when you zoom to 1x or 1.9x, this stabilization tool will display in some modes as well. So it looks really good. Again, just helps you get a very stabilized shot as well.
In professional functions, you can turn on histogram and 12 megapixel RAW. For video resolution, like I said, you can do 4K at 60 frames per second. What you've also got here in the video settings, by the way, the video 4K at 30 will be for the front only. So the front facing camera can't do 60 frames per second, but the main camera on the back can do 4K at 60 frames per second. What you've also got with that is motion autofocus. So with this, you got auto mode, you got left eye, right eye, and you got eye autofocus animation as well, body autofocus and object autofocus. This will come in really handy, especially the eye autofocus. But the only problem here is you can only use it in 1080p at 30 frames per second maximum. So you can't do that at 4K at 60, for example. You've also got 3D sound tracking, works better with when you're recording in landscape mode. You get better results, so you're not blocking the microphones. When we come out, you got night mode, and if you go into more settings, you've also got astro mode, which is something we've seen before on the likes of the Pixel again. And I really like that they've included that. And you've also got the 48 megapixel mode, Pro Sports mode for really good tracking, Super Moon mode as well. So you got some similarities on some of the Android devices that we have out there at the moment as well. Coming out of the camera settings, we look at the software. Looks really good, very clean. There's no bloatware at all. In fact, that's something that I really like about the smartphone. The lack of bloatware just means it comes out of the box feeling fresh, feeling very clean in terms of design as well as the user experience. I like the screen quality, it looks fantastic. On the software settings, in terms of this Fun OS, interesting name by the way, Vivo. Fun OS 10, which again based on Android 10. So if we go on the settings and we go on two areas we're going to take a look at. So display, and then you scroll down to your refresh rate. So you can do smart switch, so you can switch between 60 hertz and 90 hertz refresh, or you can set it yourself to just 90 hertz refresh to work with certain apps, and some apps it might not work with them. So you can automatically switch back with those apps that doesn't support it and not just burn through your battery life. What you've also then got is if you come out and go into dynamic effect, pay attention to this area because it's actually quite fun little addition to the smartphone itself. So if you go to ambient light effect, this is where you can customize the time when it comes on and off. You got music, so when you're playing music, the side lights will start popping up and showing some sort of animation. You can change the duration as well for your battery life's sake. So I've set mine to just 1 minute, but you can go all the way up to 5 minutes to leave that on, and you can change the music light effect as well for different however you want it. You can change things for like your incoming calls as well, and also your notification lights on the side can pop up. So a good functional use for that curved edges, which is why I always say if you're going to put curved edges on a smartphone, they need to have a function. Otherwise, there's no point to it. You might as well have a flat screen on there. You've also got your animations then for your fingerprint set icon animation. So when you put your fingers on it, what happens in that case? And then you got facial recognition animation as well, charging animation and screen on and off and so on. What I also like if you go into lock screen and wallpaper settings is your always on display, and this you can customize how the always on display looks as well. Again, switch it on and off, and then you can customize the color, the background, the actual watch as well. So they've got different type of things that you can change on there. What happens when you get your notifications, what you can have. So at the moment you can have up to 4 notification applications there. So messaging, phones, I've got WhatsApp selected as well. So you can select those things, which is a bit of a limitation, but it is what it is. So we'll leave that as that. But other than that, you've got ultra game mode, again, just enabling you to game with no distractions. So when you're gaming, for example, it comes up at the start with a slider on the left, so you can select a couple of settings there, and just make sure that you get the most out of your smartphone whilst you're gaming. So there's no interruptions, you get a fluid, smooth experience on there as well, which is pretty cool. So with all that power in there and fast charge and gaming and all that kind of stuff, what you've also got is liquid cooling system. So with this, it just means your smartphone stays cool, whether it's you're charging it with the fast charge, the 33 watts fast charge in there, or maybe you're just simply gaming on here. It means it stays cool under pressure, and I tested it out as well, and it stays pretty decent after playing Call of Duty as well. In audio settings, you'll also notice they've introduced hi-fi to this smartphone. This is something that you can use when you plug in your headphone. So this includes a high-res certified AK4 3778 independent hi-fi audio chip, a mouthful. Basically, it just delivers a high sample depth and creates vivid detail for a whole new level of audio experience, according to Vivo. It's something that I'm going to put to test and see how that works. So Using this, it means when you plug in your headphone, you got that amplifier in there, you got 32-bit DAC, which just means you get really good audio quality coming out of your headphones when you plug it in. Like I said before, FunTouch OS is based on Android 10, but if you buy this, you'll soon receive an updated version based on Android 11 as well very soon. At the moment, the only downside for me here is it's limited to 90 Hertz of refresh rate, not 120 Hertz. Some people might say it's only running on 765G Qualcomm Snapdragon, but I think that's more than enough for me. It's got 5G, which is really good. There's no 3.5mm headphone port. And for a start as well, I've tried with the speaker to change the sound quality. Sound quality sounds loud. It's not as mute as the Pixel 5, for example. I know I keep comparing to Pixel 5, but for me, that's something it's on par with. But Pixel 5 is cheaper and you might get a better camera. But the camera on this is actually fantastic on first impressions, both on the front and the back cameras. They look fantastic, both in low light. I'm actually surprised how good it is in low light in terms of focusing, and even the portrait mode when using it in low light, it looks fantastic. And it feels really nice in hand as well, and you get everything you need in the box to get you started to start using it. If there's any questions that you guys want to know about it, drop them in the comments as well. And if there's anything you want me to test, or if you're thinking of buying one and you want to ask any questions, drop them there as well. I'll do my best to answer you. Man, the live wallpaper just looks amazing. You can just stare at it for ages and the car is just moving up and down. So that's it for the VIVO X51 5G. Guys, drop all comments below if you have any comments, any questions as well, drop them there. If you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe. Help me by sharing it as well, and hit the bell notification so you always know every time I have a new video up on the channel. But in the meantime, thanks for watching. I shall see you guys in the next one.